Hello everyone, this is Kaifu here. Today we have game 2 in the series for FoWTCG held in Melbourne. If you guys didn't know, this is the Asia Grand Prix 2015. So on my left side we have Henry, represented from New Zealand. He's actually playing a Rush Black deck using a lot of Resurrection and hitting for hard numbers. Not only that, and getting a lot of hand advantage as well, which you will see later. While on my right side we have Johnathan playing the opposite of what Henry's playing. He's playing Red Rush, using a lot of hard hitters, burn spell, and resurrecting as well, allowing him to hit for high numbers as well. So let's get back to the show. Now at the moment Henry has to do well in this game in order to commence the game 3, because the reason why is that he already lost game 1. Spoiler alert. So if he wins game 2, it will force Johnathan to be in a position that he doesn't want to be, because Johnathan is already in a strong position winning game 1. So if Henry able to win game 2, it will force them to think which one to make misplays, which one will take the advantage overall, and so on. So at the moment Henry has a lot of pressure, forcing Johnathan to do a lot of misplay overall. If not, then it will be Jonathan's game. Now back to the game. Now Henry actually summoned that I think it was the dog. What the dog does is that if it dies in battle or dies any single way, you can search through your deck and add a resonator with 3 cards below to your hand. So he obviously add his win condition with his deep one. Deep one hitting hard numbers damage depending how many cards in your graveyard as resonator. At the moment there's 2 resonator, so total one that deep one just come down is total of 400 attack and 600 defense. So back to Jonathan's turn now. Now Johnathan has to do a lot of hard damage now because he doesn't want to be forced to go to game 3 at the moment. If he does go to game 3, Henry will be in advantage at the moment. And Henry actually gave explosion to the 7 dwarves, allowing him to discard Kukunuchi, which is one of the key cards. So taking 700 damage to it directly, putting him down to 3100 life point. Now Henry has to deal with that 7 dwarves hitting hard number damage, 700 attack, 700 defense, so he'll be forced to sacrifice a card in his hand to give explosion. Not only that, a little resonate to run over as well. So which means he will lose 2 cards for the price of 1 for Johnathan. So he had to make a really good play overall in order not to lose a lot of advantage overall. But assuming that he discarded Kukunuchi, he might have a resurrection card, which is Ode of the Dead, allowing him to resurrect any resident from his graveyard, but the resident attack and defense will be subtracted by 200 points. Playing the Skeleton Twin Blade and giving explosion to Twin Blade, killing the 7 dwarves. Really good play overall, because it allows that Johnathan will use a lot more resource, because now Johnathan lost one of his high big 6 already. Now like I said before, Henry does have Ode of the Dead, resurrecting Kukunuchi, allowing him to draw up to 7 cards at the end phase. Now let's see what can Johnathan do now. Even though Johnathan has higher life point than Henry, it's only 900 point difference, so he has to make a really good play in this turn to do something. He actually played the healer. The healer allows Johnathan to gain 500 life points, so I'm assuming that he's trying to do what he can to gain more life and so on. Attacking directly for 400 point of damage. What will Henry do? If I was actually Henry, I would actually take the damage, what he just does, putting him in range of light break mechanic, so he can use 2 of his light break since he haven't used 1 yet. And he light break into Twin Blade, putting on the field 500 attack and 100 defense. Now he can activate the second light break if he wants to, and it does, and it actually hits Black Oak. Now if you guys don't know, Black Oak is a promo card in the Valhalla set, so I'll explain what it does. Now when you break it, it's actually a standby card by the way. When you break it, put this face up on his standby area. Now you can activate this during your main phase by paying 1000 life point, putting a resident card in your graveyard onto field. Now however, if this card was while face up in your standby area, you may pay 700 instead of 1000. So it's like a resurrection card for free, like Ode of the Dead and so on, but with life point payment. Now you can only activate this in the main phase, so you can't activate during your opponent's turn, so you can't actually resurrect one and block it. So now let's go back to the show. Attacking directly, attacking the resident and killing 500. So forcing Johnathan has no fuel present overall, giving Henry the slight advantage, having fuel present, hand advantage at the same time. since Johnathan does not have any draw power like Kukunuchi to actually get it back. Playing deep one, attacking directly. Now with like 1, 2, 3, 4 Resonant Bin, I think doing enough damage on board, putting Johnathan down to 3,300 life point. Oh wait, he's discarding more cards using Explosion from the ruler's ability. This is kind of huge because not only he refills his hand with Kukunuchi, it also powers up the deep one, putting Johnathan down to 3,300 life points. Attacking directly for 300 more damage, putting Johnathan to 3,000 life points. So let's see what can Johnathan do now. Johnathan is about to use his life breaker, looks like it. Looks like him giving more explosion, discarding more cards, allowing him to draw more cards in the end phase. And Johnathan actually life break into Mermaid Apprentice. Mermaid Apprentice is pretty much a floater card. When it dies on the field and goes to the graveyard, the controller of the card draws a card. Now back to Johnathan's turn. Now Johnathan has to deal with a Kukunuchi allows to redraw, and the deep one has high attack and so on. Let's see what can Johnathan do. He's trying to attack the deep one and give explosion to the Mermaid Apprentice, which will allow to suicide into it. But what's going on? Oh, I think there's a misplay here, or not a misplay, like a misunderstanding on the card. Black Oath you can't actually activate on your opponent's turn. You can only activate it during your main phase. Now, I'm not sure what happened. I think Johnathan didn't actually read the card properly, putting him in slight disadvantage. But since the game already went on, let's hope that misplay or that play didn't matter too much. Now Johnathan's attacking with the suicide trip into the deep one, not allowing him having enough deep one on the field because her enemy just resurrected the dog, which allowed him to search for another deep one. So one less deep one's a lot better, giving explosion to Suicider. Now let's see what can Henry do in this situation. Currently the life point is 2,000 for Henry and 3,000 for Johnathan. Playing Pearl Ring of Fire, burning 700 point or more damage to Henry, putting in range for a more burn spell later on in the game. Now life point wise isn't looking too good for Henry, but if Henry can actually manage to do enough damage on turn and so on, it will allow him to do well. But he actually break into a Kiss of Death. Kiss of Death, pretty much you have to destroy a resident on the field regardless you're the controller, meaning you have to kill your own resident in the long run. So it wasn't a good play overall. I think it was a minor misplay what Henry did, using Kiss of Death way too early, or not too early, life break too early, allowing Johnathan to gain a slight more advantage, since that Kukunuchi will not allow Henry to draw any more cards. So the hand resource for Henry is out of the way. Let's see now. I think he played the demon. Yes, he played the demon, but Johnathan responded with thunder, killing the demon away. So he's taking less damage than so hopefully that 3,000 life point will be enough for him to survive. Now, at the moment there's a lot of resonate in that pile, allowing that next second deep one come to the field and hit for really large damage, which it doesn't look too good since Johnathan only has 3,000 life point. But then again, he did heal 500 life point from the healer, so let's hope that 500 point up matters in the long run. Now look what can Henry do. He lost his resource that allows him to draw cards, so he can't recklessly self-necking himself anymore. Playing deep one on the field, attacking directly. Yep, and Johnathan declares to take it. Yep, putting him down to 1,200 life point. That was a big damage on there. 1,800 attack, really large number overall. Life break into a Mermaid Apprentice, which is huge. Now gaining more resources, not only that, forcing Henry to either deal with the Mermaid Apprentice. Either way, it's not a good play overall. Playing the Flame on the field and attacking directly to the deep one. Now Flame has a simple skill called Explosion. Explosion is pretty much like Death Touch. When it deals damage, when both resonate deals damage, they both die. But however, Henry responds with a Kiss of Death. Now attacking with Mermaid Apprentice once more, killing and drawing a brand new card, killing the second deep one. paying 2. Oh, playing Oath of the Dead, resurrecting the golden dragon that was discarded a few turns ago, attacking directly and gains 200 for each 5 magic stone. So that will be enough for game. Thank you for watching, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed it. So peace. See you in round 5.